body globally. Because I suppose the main job of being here today is to get inspired. But if you only get inspired and don't go out and try what you've learned here, well, you've learned nothing. So I want to thank Bob because the message is very good in opening a conversation about design. You have to try that yourself, no matter how much you know. And in fact, I have 15 minutes today to convince you that there is an advantage of not knowing. There is an advantage of embracing creativity in order to learn. And there is an advantage in the fact that in order to embrace creativity, we need to forget actually what we know about our customers and our product. Now, we lived in an era for the last 50 years, an industrial era, when we were taught how to be managers and say, oh, you have to do this, you need to do your segmentation, you need to do this, and later on you will be a good manager. And that was good in an industrial era, but now we are in innovation era, and that requires a completely new mindset that is coming through design. So let me say that what I believe is the advantage that we have today as managers is actually exploiting ignorance. That is what we don't know. Okay, and you say, who are you to say that to us? Well, I define myself as a design strategist, and obviously say, what is strategic design? Well, strategic design really tries to bring together the conventional strategic thinking that uses the rational side of the brain, something that I think many of us are familiar with, something that we have learned in school, and it goes pretty much like that. In order to be successful, you need to create a value chain that enables you to position your organization a part of the industry that is less exposed to the competitive forces. Then what? Then if you are a manager and you are forced from your superiors to innovate, you go back to the 5 forces, what we learn. Okay, you might go in that part of the industry, okay? But you lack of the tools, the methodologies, and the way to think as a designer. And what design thinking does, or design generally speaking, is bringing to managers a set of toolkits and mindset that up to now were only available to design companies. And say to managers, you actually can be creative. And don't be afraid. And don't be afraid to fail, to fail as long as you fail fast and cheap. And that brings on the board prototyping and co-creation. Okay? Now, I want just to say, okay, but does design thinking make any other techniques, rational techniques, not useful anymore? No. I mean, rationality is still essential for business. At 2 levels, at the strategic level, we need to know who our competitors are. We need to know our industry. We need to know how to segment the industry, and that is very useful. And at an operational level, our engineers and technicians still need to implement the product, to make it, to improve, to increase the value of the product. But that is kind of a way to innovate that is step by step. What design brings into the table is the ability to be creative, the ability to break the connection with the last product that you saw. But let me give you an example about rationality. I needed to change a boiler, gas boiler in my house, because unfortunately, eventually after 20 years, it doesn't work anymore. So because it was a good brand, I got the same brand as with the same company. And when the technician arrived the other day, because I worked mostly from home, I saw actually the same packaging, the same boiler, and on top of it was 20% more efficient. What does it mean? If they make the boiler, the same concept, the same boiler, 20% more efficient, means that it consumes 20% less gas, is 20% less noises. Okay? And that is a kind of innovation that goes up gradually. Okay? And technicians, engineers are very good at that. And they did that many years. But I want to give you an example about Gillette, the razor company. As you can see, I use that a lot. And you know what they do anytime they face a drop in sales? They add a blade to their razors. Okay? Now, I believe that they reach already 5 of them. No, the challenge that they face, guys, is not any longer we need to add another blade, so we have 6. It's not an engineering problem, it's not a rational problem what they face. They face the problem to think, okay, is there another way that enables people like Stefano to shape? And it doesn't mean necessarily that is a razor. The same thing with the drill. Do we really need a drill to make a hole in the wall, or we just need a hole in the wall? Now, up to now, because we were thinking like an engineer, we say, oh well, we do a better drill. But the company that really succeeds today are those that still do this, but one day they start to be creative. And design is struggling to say to manager, listen, there is a completely new mindset that you can embrace and tools that enable you to be more creative. So rationality, in few words, enable you to innovate, to transform a concept into a new product. And creativity is your ability to come up with that new idea, with the new solution for your customer that is not razor or a drill. Okay, so I think that many companies, let's say that way, are getting much better at innovation. Why? Because they are embracing the basic principle of design. Instead to spend a fortune to manufacture a product that nobody wants, and later on then it goes belly up, I prototype, I co-create the product with my customers, and I create the first beta version of my product, and I launch my product in a way that makes me learn about what the customer wants. At the end of the journey, what I have a product that fits the market. Okay? And I think we are getting better at that. But the real challenge that we face today is how do we unlock creativity? Because it's the part that I think many companies are stupid. And anytime that I'm going to conference or I train somebody, say, Stefano, you're about ideas. Yes, I'm about ideas, but let me tell you two things about an idea. The first thing that I want to say that no idea was born good. It means that today you're here, tonight you're going to have many ideas because you have been to the Innovation and Research Conference, and tomorrow morning when you're going to the office, you speak with your colleagues and say, oh, I have many different ideas. And they say, oh, you're probably better going back to bed because you're very tired. Or they say, oh, I love that idea, how do we implement that? And that you're facing the same problem that a startup faces. You need to survive failure. And that is the problem that if you ever work in a startup, you know very well. You need to innovate. You need to transform a concept into a final product that adds value for the customer. But I think here, today, many companies already survey failure. They're not startup any longer. And they think, oh, idea, we don't need longer idea. We are successful. But the reality of things, there is another danger that actually, that no idea are good forever. What does it mean? Let me give you an example. Henry Ford invented the Model T, a car that sold more than 15 million units, probably the best-selling car ever. And the customer could have got the Model T car, any color, as long as it was black. But one day, General Motors decided, you know what, and other manufacturing company, we can sell cars that are red or blue or any other color. So engineers and other people in Ford went to Henry Ford and said, listen, we should manufacture cars that are different colors. And you know what Henry Ford did? He fired them. He fired them because he didn't want to abandon his original idea. He wasn't able to survive in success. And that is it seems like a paradox. But eventually, the idea that we have that makes us successful is the same idea that ran out of the business, makes us run out of the business. And in order to understand this, we need to understand the deep difference, profound difference between creativity and innovation. I go to conference, Stefano, see, it's the same thing. But creativity is completely different from innovation. And let me explain why. The first thing, because creativity belongs to the thinking, belongs to the way that we think about our product, our customers, and their needs. And because it's happening in the brain, it's happening in a single mind at a time. Okay? Later on we can do a brainstorming session and I clone whatever is happening in my mind and yours, but the reality, we think one at a time. And instantaneous is something that is a shift in the way that you see the world, the needs of the customer. Okay? That happens in a second. And most of all, creativity enables us to come up with a new concept for our product and service. It doesn't enable us to come up with a new product and service, but shift our perception of our product and create value for our customers. When you have been creative, then be innovative. Innovation starts with the doing. Okay? You need to convert that new concept into something that creates value for the customer. And again, if you work in a startup, you know very well that it takes 6 months before you start to develop the first prototype or the first beta version of your product that really sucks. And it takes a team of people, engineers, technicians, salespeople, marketing people coming together to create a team that eventually is able to transform that concept into a product. Okay? But it's only if we understand this difference that we start to understand the value that creativity is bringing into business. But now, because we have only 15 minutes, let me talk about the first step in being creative. Because if you are here today, there is some interest in being creative. But creativity starts with thinking. And let me ask you a question. If I ask you, think about your children, or if you don't think about your husband, can you think about them? Say, can you see with your mind's eyes? Can you see them? I think you can. Why? Because you don't have 2 million children. You have 3, 4, 5, 2, 1, 0, or whatever. But you can think about them because you have enough slots in your mind to think about them individually. But that is the thing. If you are an executive and I ask you to think about your customer, can you think about that? Well, if you have 2 customers, you probably can. But then you are like a child, right? Now, the problem is, if you have 1 million customers, you need to create categories in order to think about them, because there is not enough space in your brain to think about 1 million people at a time. So thinking starts with forgetting. So we said, just to quick recap, we need to be creative. In order to be creative, we need to forget. And that is the connection with the idea of exploiting ignorance. In order to be creative, we need to forget. We need to detach ourselves from what we know. As long as we know too much about our customer and our product, we will never be able to be creative. So in fact, to think about our customers, we need to forget 99% of them and start to create categories, concepts. And one contribution of design that we are not longer stuck with boxes, but actually with segments, but what we do is creating personas that are fictional characters that enables us to think about the different type of customers that are in the market. And so the point that I'm making today is that yes, you can always incrementally innovate and just use the left side of our brain. But as you left, one day you will face the challenge of completely rethink what you are doing, because maybe a competitor or a shift in the market will make you outdated. And then you need to embrace creativity in order to rethink how you are adding value to the customer. Thank you very much.